I call this one Song of My Libra Pharaoh, written by me. I know I will never love this way again. Never will another provoke my soul to evolve and transcend. Your love gave me the powers of the flaming phoenix, the ability to die and resurrect, like a classic R&B remix. Consumed by the fire, only to rise up out of the ashes anew. This is the real reason why I fell in love with you. Not for your tender kisses or your gentle stroke, but rather for the change in me that you helped invoke. I love your Californian accent and your witty conversation. Our talks give me such emotional stimulation, inspiration, dare I say, spiritualization, that sends me on this tangent of verbal procreation and maturation, giving birth to love ballads on the microphone, crooning like an old blues singer, accompanied by a mean saxophone. Can't you picture me on stage with a Lady Day flower in my hair, complete with a myriad of admirers who drop by to give me a stare, glowing radiantly as if I basked in goddess's eternal light, perfumed, flawless, and voluptuous, with my locks twisted tight. To you, I would give a command to stand, greatly extending my arm and my right hand. With my back straight, I would sing your praises, completely oblivious to the others and their gazes. Focused only on you, my Pharaoh, would I raise my voice and proclaim, no, exclaim, that in you I found the other half of my very soul. A union that only the universe can control. You wiped my face and held me as I cried. You understood my essence without even having to try. You cared for me without expectation or hesitation. Never before had I been in such a situation. You stole my heart, and I can't pinpoint why or when. All I know is that I will never love that way again. I wrote that piece, guys, about, let me see, oh God, I think I was like 29 years old. And I wrote that piece originally for Voldemort. And I haven't been able to perform it for years because it just bothered me. Every time I tried to do it, I couldn't do it, you know? So the other day I decided, you know what? I'm going to take back all of the things that I let Voldemort take from me. And this poem was one of them. There were several poems. It was a series of poems called the Pharaoh series. So I decided to rename it the Pharaohs with an S series and redo each poem for a man who I really do respect and admire from my past, so that I can reclaim, you know, that energy again. I want to reclaim everything I let anyone, especially him, take from me. So this is the first piece. So let me do the introduction. Hi, I got on my Halloween costume, and it's QueenAusetHeru, and thank you for joining me for another wonderful edition of Ask an Aquarius. If you haven't already, please hit the red subscribe button and smack the bell. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and pass it on to anybody and everybody that you know. Please stick around to the end of the video, because at the end I'm going to read out some of my favorite positive comments from previous videos. And I'm hoping that you'll leave us a positive comment underneath this video. If you would like to get a reading done, or if you want some Asking Aquarius merchandise, or if you want some Archangel Michael merchandise, or if you want to send me a gift from my Amazon wish list, or if you want to become a patron on Patreon, a plethora of many other things, please check out underneath this video, because I always leave so much stuff under there for you guys. All right, so I know you guys are probably sitting there wondering, like, what happened? So let me give you the 411, okay? 5 years ago, I asked you guys to help me with a situation with Voldemort. Now, if you want to know who Voldemort is, those of you who don't know already, Voldemort was one of my ex-entanglements, okay? A sociopathic, narcissistic cancer. Hashtag not all cancers. Okay? Just because one of them was a nut job doesn't mean they all are, okay? Give them a chance. Anyway, so yeah, so I told you guys, you know, those of you who've been around, you've heard the story a million times, right? So what I wanted to do was I wanted to forgive and release Voldemort. I have been doing forgiveness work in general. There was a lot of people, because, you know, Aquarius, if we don't like you, we don't like you, you know? So there was a lot of people I had that kind of grudgy kind of energy towards, and I hated it, because I was like, you know what? I want to forgive and I want to release. My cards, it kept coming up. I kept getting the forgiveness card, and I was just like, yeah, I know, you know? So I really wanted to forgive and release anybody that I had bad feelings towards. And Voldemort was like the number one on the list. There was other people on the list, but he was like number one. So 5 years ago, I started doing forgiveness work. This is like journaling, therapeutic exercises. I have this book called Radical Forgiveness by Colin Tippin. And this book has forgiveness exercises in the back of it. So I started to do this kind of thing for anybody I needed to forgive, including myself, okay? So for 5 years, I was working on that, all right? I asked you guys to pray for me 5 years ago. 5 years ago, when I asked for that prayer, you will not believe to this day how many people email me or inbox me or, you know, hit me up and tell me, you know, I'm praying for you. I hope everything is okay. You know, pray for me too. You know, I'm going through something similar. I've met so many people who had their own Voldemort, their own negative, hurtful, abusive, toxic person in their life. And it could have been a lover. It could have been a family member. But I think we all have a Voldemort, you know, and unfortunately, some of us have more than one Voldemort. So anyway, I wanted to forgive. I wanted to release. It kept coming up in my cards, and I knew inside of myself that holding on to bitterness and hurt wasn't a good idea, because I've seen other people do that. I do cards all day. I talk to hundreds, thousands of people, and I see, let me tell you what I see. I see a lot of really good people who've been in a bad situation with a Voldemort or many Voldemorts, and it ruins, some of them it ruins different things. Like, for example, some of them can't get into a romantic relationship because whatever that person took from them is now keeping them from even wanting to try to have love. If you go to the comment section, I guarantee you, I promise you, you're going to see a whole bunch of people talking about how they don't ever want to love again. They never want to be with anybody else. And why is that? Because a fucking Voldemort took that from them. I was talking to somebody the other day, and a really awful Voldemort did something to her as a child. And to this day, she still struggles with intimacy. I know people, men and women who've been through stuff like this. And something happens, a Voldemort does something to them, and they lose what they love. Like I lost that poem for all those years. So I wanted to forgive. I wanted to take back my shit. I want my shit back, you know? And I wanted to forgive, and I wanted to take back all the things that had been taken. And I worked on it for 5 years, okay? After the first 3 years, almost all the people, except Voldemort, I was done with it. I had let it go. I had released it and reconciled with some of them. One of them was my ex-husband. Now, we not best friends. I'm not going to hold you, but we do break bread whenever I'm in the States. And we got drunk together a few times with our daughter and our friends. Yeah, my family came over. We never could do that before. So I did reconcile and forgive certain people, and we're cool. Voldemort is not that case. Don't get ahead of yourself. Ain't shit happening. But after 2 years after, so 5 years after I asked you guys for the prayers, I realized that I had finally come to the point where I had forgiven them. And it happened by accident, right? Guys, you know how when you're a kid and your mom tells you you're not getting something for Christmas because your grades aren't high enough? That was always mine. Because I got good grades, but in classes I didn't like, it would be iffy. So my mother would always be on me about my grades. So she would be like, well, you're not getting this Barbie. You're not getting this doll. You're not getting whatever it is you asked for. And the whole time I'm just like, oh. So as a kid, you're teeter-tottering between hope and thinking you're not going to get it, right? So while I was working on this manifestation, I was like, I don't think I'm going to get this. I was starting to feel like giving up because I was starting to feel like I've done these forgiveness exercises. I've done this journaling. I've done this therapy. I've done this stuff, and I still hate this person. So I don't think I'm going to get this. Just like a kid, right? So I'm like, I still had hope, but I was like, I don't know if I can manifest this or not. So what ended up happening was the other day, because I kept working on it all these years, the other day, about a week ago, I was sitting on the edge of the bed, getting ready in the morning. And every morning, I pack my bag. I pack a bag of stuff from my bedroom that I'm going to need out here because I'm out here all day working, right? So I pack in my bag, sitting on the edge of the bed, and something that Voldemort said or did, I can't even remember what it was, came to my mind. And I did this, y'all. I went, water under the bridge. And I kept packing the bag. And then, you know, my brain is, you know, like, my brain is quick. Aquarius, we got that, right? And something went, what did you just say? Did you just say it's water under the bridge? Did you mean that? Like, I shocked myself. And I was like, I did say that. And I do mean that. It's water under the bridge. And I realized in that instance, after 5 fucking years, I have finally finished my forgiveness work with he who will always remain nameless. And it really touched me, and I was so happy because I was like, you know what? I was free now. I said, I was free now, you know? And I was like, oh my God. And that just felt, my vibration jumped up as soon as I realized it. I was like, I got it. I finally got what I wanted for Christmas. A couple months early, but I finally got it. And I was just like, oh my God, I never thought I'd be able to do this, and I wanted to do it so bad. So I want to tell you guys out there, right? I wanted to update you on this because it was amazing news to me. And I wanted to tell you guys out there because, number one, a lot of you have told me that you have Voldemorts, okay? And the first thing I want to point out from this whole ordeal is if you want to heal it and retrieve everything they took from you, it's possible. Okay? I want you to know that. I don't care if you're a man, if you're a woman, if you were dealing with somebody, or if you had somebody in your life that took from you, depleted you, a narcissist, an abuser, a toxic boss, anything along those lines, you can heal from it. You can take back everything that they took from you, and you do not have to live the rest of your life in the shadow of that darkness. Okay? And I'm so happy because this is a great point for an Aquarius. When an Aquarius comes to this point, what happens after this point, we forget. This is the detachment stage, you know, like you're detaching from the bad memories. You're detaching from all of that. As a matter of fact, I find myself actually mildly amused. When I think about the memories, I find myself giggling and kind of mildly amused, which never happened before. I'm really shocked at that point. But the point of the matter is that if you are somebody who values moving on with your life, and notice that I did not say reconciliation, pointed that out again, right? Because this is not somebody who I would want to be a friend with. I would never be friends with somebody I don't admire and respect. You know, so I wouldn't do that, but I can be detached. I could even be polite at this point. So my thing to you is that as somebody who has your own Voldemort, as somebody who's working through your own pain, you can do it. It might take you 5 years, it might take you less, or it might take you more, but you can do it if you really want to. And it's awesome because you get to be free and you get to get back all the things they took from you. I got back all my poems. I'm revising every last one of them. I got back those songs I used to listen to that I couldn't listen to because they would bring back his memory. All of that, I got all of that back, you know? And the people that I've seen who've lost things too, like, you know, the ability to want to love or things like that, you can get those things back, but you have to heal first. That's the whole thing. Heal, forgive, release. That's all you got to do. And then eventually, if you've been true to it, maybe you'll get what you want for Christmas too, okay? And if you are a Voldemort, listen, get some help. Get some help. Because the other day I was sitting here and I am kind of strange because I often pull cards and ask questions out of my mind just to see what the universe is going to tell me. So I said to the universe, what does Voldemort need to stop being sociopathic, narcissistic, cruel, you know, toxic, you know, all those things? And I said, what does he need to do that? Because I wanted to know for other Voldemorts. Because sometimes other Voldemorts actually hit me up and they're like, hey, I am a Voldemort. What do I do? Okay. So for you guys, this is this is what you do. I had pulled from the Sock Monkey Oracle. It's a deck of cards that you pull divination from. So I asked the Oracle, what did Voldemort need to do? And the Oracle told me, seek professional help. That's the card that it gave me. There's a card about getting professional help, like therapy, psychiatrist, that kind of thing. And the card says, seek professional help. So if you are a Voldemort, if that is something that you're struggling with, you know, changing yourself, being a better person, if you recognize that in yourself, because most Voldemorts are not going to recognize that in themselves. So if you are recognizing that in yourself, you're ahead of the game, straight up. And so what should you do? Seek professional therapeutic help. Okay? Because if you have severe issues, you really cannot do those on your own. And for the kind of issues that some Voldemorts have, you're really going to need some help. Okay? So if you are recognizing yourself as a Voldemort, all is not lost. All you got to do is care enough to heal thyself, and you'll be able to say, you know what? I did some dark things. I've been in dark places, but now I'm better. So you guys, you're going to be hearing some new poems. You're going to be hearing some old revised poems, actually, that I've taken back. So mark this in your calendar. In my all set, my goddess all set costume, I am telling you, I finally was able to forgive Voldemort. And I'm glad. I'm really glad. And I hope that you guys are able to forgive and heal and release your Voldemorts too. So let us get to the positive comments now. The first positive comment is from Mariposa Mayat. Mariposa said, "This is beautiful, sis. Thank you for speaking to something that I have also struggled with for all of my life. My mother's critical voice was much like Carrie in the movie. They're all going to laugh at you. But Spirit has a plan and we are already supported. It takes a lot of shadow work to get through it to the other side. Good for you. Thanks for sharing your sacred journey. I can relate." Well, Mariposa Mayat, thank you for your beautiful comments. And yeah, it takes shadow work, which is basically therapeutic work, you know. It takes all of that. And it sounds like your mother was one of your Voldemorts. So hopefully you've been able to forgive, release, and heal from that too. The last positive comment is from Shannon Grissom. Shannon is the content creator and the artist who did the Sock Monkey Oracle. That's what it's called, Sock Monkey Oracle. And I had never seen a sock monkey before, so I thought it was so cool. And Shannon left us a comment. She said, "Thanks so much for your kind words about my art and writing, and well, the entire deck. I can feel the love in your review, and your comments and insight are spot on. I definitely love your deck. I've used it like 10 times since I did that review. So thank you for your comments and thank you for everything. I'm just so, I love that deck. I really do. And everybody knows I love cutesy decks, so it was right up my alley. All right, guys, you come back soon because I have a lot more to say. See you later.